Have you ever looked at a beautiful handmade bar of soap and thought, hey, I could do that? Well, you absolutely can. And today, we're going to show you how to take that creative spark and turn it into a real, thriving business. This is your blueprint.
So let's start with the big question. Can a simple bar of soap really be the launchpad for your business? The answer is a huge yes. But how you get there, well, that's what makes all the difference. Think of this as your personal guide to figuring out the best path for you.
All right, here's our game plan. We're starting with the absolute most important part, safety. Then we'll explore 3 different ways to make soap: the artisan, the marketer, and the scaler. After that, we'll help you figure out which path is right for you and finish up with how to build a brand that really stands out.
Okay, let's get right into it with our first and most crucial section. Before you even think about picking out pretty scents or cool colors, we have to talk about safety. Seriously, this is the foundation for everything else. It is totally non-negotiable.
And I really want this to sink in. Your single most important ingredient isn't some fancy oil or a rare botanical. It's safety. At its core, soap making is a chemical reaction, and you have to respect that process to be successful and, to avoid getting hurt. So the key chemical we're talking about is sodium hydroxide, which everyone just calls lye. It's what magically turns oils into hard bars of soap. But here's the thing you have to know. When lye hits water, it creates what's called an exothermic reaction. In plain English, it gets hot, like really hot, really fast. And that's exactly why our next slide is so important.
These are the 3 golden rules. Rule 1, protect your eyes. Always, always wear safety goggles. No excuses. Rule 2, ventilation. You need to work somewhere with good airflow because you do not want to be breathing in those fumes. And rule 3, and listen closely to this one, you always add the lye to the water, slowly. Never, ever the other way around. If you pour water into lye, you can get a nasty chemical volcano splashing everywhere. Trust me, you don't want that.
Okay, now that we've got the super important safety stuff covered, let's explore the first way you can make soap. We're calling this one the artisan path. This is for all you creators out there who want to have complete and total control over every single thing that goes into your product. The amazing thing about this method is the absolute freedom it gives you. You get to pick every single oil, every butter, every special additive. This means you can create a truly premium, one-of-a-kind product. So what's the catch? Well, you're handling the lye yourself. The whole process takes a lot longer, and yeah, it's definitely a steeper learning curve to get started.
The artisan process really is a craft. First, you'll mix your lye in water, very carefully, and let it cool down. Then you'll gently warm up your oils. The magic really happens when you combine the two using a stick blender to mix it until it gets thick, kind of like a light pudding. In the soap world, we call that trace. That's your cue to add your fragrances or colors, pour it into molds, and then you wait. It has to cure for several weeks to become a nice, hard bar of soap.
All right, let's move on to path number 2, which we're calling the marketer. If the artisan path was all about total control, this one is all about speed, simplicity, and getting your product out there and into customers' hands as fast as possible. And the source material for this whole explainer gives some fantastic advice right here. It says if you're really thinking with a business mindset, starting with a pre-made soap base is the way to go. You get to skip all the most complicated and dangerous steps. And the pros for a new business are just massive. You don't have to handle raw lye, the process is super simple and quick, and it's just perfect for beginners. The only real downside is you don't control what's in that base soap, so the quality of your finished product really hinges on the quality of the base you decide to buy. This process is famous for its name, melt and pour. Why? Because it's literally that simple. You cut up the soap base, you melt it down, you mix in all your cool stuff, your colors, your scents, then you pour it into molds and let it set. Instead of waiting for weeks, your soap is ready in just a few hours. That's a game changer for a new business.
Okay, on to our third and final method. This one is for the scaler. This is for the person who's already thinking bigger than just a few batches. You're focused on mass production, on high volume, and on getting that cost per bar down as low as it can possibly go.
So soap noodles are basically pre-made soap that's been shredded into little pellets. The pro here is obvious. They are incredibly cheap. But the con? Well, it's a big one. You can't just turn these into a nice bar of soap in your kitchen. It requires heavy-duty, specialized machinery. We're talking grinders, mixers, and presses to get a smooth, professional finish.
So we've just covered three pretty different ways to go about this: the artisan, the marketer, and the scaler. Now let's just pull them all together and look at them side by side so you can make a really clear choice for your own business.
So have a look. Which one of these sounds like you? If you're that premium artisan and you crave maximum creative freedom, making soap from scratch is your calling. If you're the savvy marketer who wants to launch fast and safe, then the soap-based method is hands down your best bet. And if you're the scaler dreaming of big volumes and low costs, then soap noodles are your future. Just be ready for that big investment in equipment.
Okay, so once you've picked your production method, that's where the next phase of work and fun begins. It's time to stop thinking about just a bar of soap and start thinking about how to turn it into a brand, a story that people are excited to be a part of.
And one of the simplest ways to start building that story is with your ingredients. These aren't just additives, they're your brand's selling points. Think about it. You could build an entire product line around the skin-brightening effects of turmeric, the purifying qualities of neem, or the amazing exfoliation you get from coffee grounds.
And this is where it all clicks into place. Your additives literally become your brand's promise to your customer. Are you selling an anti-acne soap? Then neem is your hero. A brightening bar? That's all about turmeric. An energizing morning scrub? You're talking about coffee. See? You're not just selling soap anymore. You're selling a result. You're selling a solution. So there you have it, the whole blueprint. We've gone from the absolute basics of safety through 3 distinct production paths, and all the way to how you can craft a brand that people will love. We've laid out the map for you. The only question left is, what's your brand story going to be?